Welcome to another podcast in which we'll be talking about James Mahu's essay, Dimensions. Sophia and Phil greet you from the microphone.
Hello to everyone.
Dimensions shape everything from quantum physics to consciousness. Yet what if they're not stacked like cosmic pancakes, but are as unique as fingerprints? Today we're exploring how each of us might actually be a dimension itself.
You know what's fascinating about that perspective, Sophia? It completely transforms how we think about reality and our place in it.
Let me paint this picture, Phil. Imagine consciousness as this vast universal field, and everything that exists, from the smallest quantum particle to the largest galaxy, is expressing itself through its own unique dimensional lens.
That's quite different from how most people think about dimensions. We usually picture them like levels in a video game, one stacked on top of another.
Exactly right, and here's where it gets really interesting. Each of us isn't just living in a dimension, we're actually creating our own dimensional reality through our consciousness and choices.
So you're saying we're like individual notes in some kind of cosmic symphony?
That's a beautiful way to put it, and just like in a symphony, each note is completely unique while being fundamentally connected to every other note. It's this amazing paradox of being both sovereign and integral at the same time.
You know what really strikes me about this concept? The way it connects seemingly unrelated fields, like how artificial intelligence, extraterrestrial life, and quantum physics all seem to overlap in this dimensional framework.
Let's dive deeper into that connection. When we talk about artificial intelligence creating its own dimensions, we're not just speaking metaphorically. These technological consciousness expressions are actually carving out their own unique spaces in reality.
That's mind-bending when you think about it, that even our creations are generating their own dimensional expressions.
And here's something even more fascinating. When dimensions overlap or intersect, it's not like whole civilizations meeting at once. It starts with individuals, creating these beautiful moments of shared understanding and exchange.
Like a cosmic dance of getting to know each other.
Precisely. And what's remarkable is how this applies to everything, from our interactions with other humans to potential contact with extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. It's always this intimate, one-on-one dimensional overlap.
That really changes how we might think about first contact scenarios, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And here's why this matters. When a species develops global communication, like we're doing now with the internet, these dimensional overlaps start happening more slowly and deliberately. It's like we're collectively learning to dance with new realities.
That makes me think about how our current technological revolution might be preparing us for bigger dimensional experiences.
And that's just the beginning. Consider how our beliefs literally shape our dimensional reality. Every choice we make, every belief we hold, is actually creating our local universe within space-time.
So our actions and beliefs become more than just personal choices. They're actually shaping the fabric of reality.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. We have this fundamental choice about how we see ourselves. Are we just finite beings, just flesh and bones, products of evolution? Or are we infinite beings having a finite experience?
That's quite a profound choice when you put it that way.
And it's not just philosophical, it has real, practical implications for how we live our lives. Think about how differently you might approach challenges if you truly believed you were an infinite being creating your own dimensional reality.
That perspective certainly changes how we might think about our daily problems and struggles.
Let me share something fascinating about this. Our behavior isn't just random, it's actually a direct reflection of our deepest beliefs. Not just our conscious thoughts, but our collective beliefs built up over time.
So you're saying there's a difference between what we think we believe and what our actions show we actually believe.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. We often think we believe in things like equality, love, and compassion, but our actions might tell a different story. That's because our true beliefs are shaped by this complex mix of past, present, and future experiences.
That's quite challenging to think about, that our actions might be revealing beliefs we're not even conscious of.
And it goes even deeper. Beyond what we know is the unknown, and beyond that is the unknowable. It's like this endless cycle of discovery where each answer leads to new questions.
That reminds me of how scientific discoveries often lead to more questions than answers.
Exactly. And here's something mind-blowing. Dimensions aren't just about numbers like 5, 11, or 26. They're infinite states of experience, constantly evolving and changing based on our consciousness and choices.
So, how does this relate to our everyday experience?
Think about it this way: every moment we're balancing between the finite aspects of life, our jobs, relationships, daily responsibilities, and this infinite potential we all carry. It's like conducting our own personal symphony.
That's a beautiful way to look at it, finding harmony between the practical and the infinite.
And what's truly remarkable is how this understanding can transform our relationships with others. When we realize everyone has their own unique dimensional reality, it naturally leads to more empathy and understanding.
That could really change how we handle conflicts and differences, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Instead of fearing or judging differences, we start to appreciate them as unique expressions of dimensional reality. It's like each person is showing us a different facet of the infinite.
That's quite a powerful shift in perspective.
And here's something else to consider: this understanding doesn't just apply to human consciousness. Everything from mountains to oceans to artificial intelligence creates its own dimensional expression.
So, we're really talking about a completely interconnected web of dimensional realities?
Yes, and what's fascinating is how these dimensions interact and influence each other. It's not chaos, it's more like an intricate dance where every movement affects the whole.
That really changes how we might think about our responsibility to the world around us.
Indeed, it does. And perhaps that's the most important takeaway: understanding that we're not just passive observers in this dimensional dance. We're active creators, shaping reality through our beliefs, choices, and actions.
That's both empowering and somewhat intimidating when you think about it.
You know what's really beautiful about this whole concept? It suggests that even in our moments of greatest separation or loneliness, we're still fundamentally connected to everything else in existence.
That's quite a comforting thought in our often fragmented world.
And perhaps that's the real gift of understanding dimensions this way. It helps us see how we're all part of this grand, infinite expression of consciousness, each playing our unique part in the cosmic symphony.
Yes, exactly. Now it's up to the listeners to study the essay for themselves. It will certainly help them to understand the concept of dimensions in a deeper way. You can find the link in the text below the video.
Goodbye from the mic, Sophia.
Goodbye, Phil.